The following is a paid advertisement. The views expressed are the sole responsibility of the advertiser.
Put the power back in your hands. This is Behind the Law with attorney Justin Clark.
Welcome to Behind the Law. Happy weekend to you. We're brought to you by Renewal by Anderson. Joined as always by my beautiful co-host, Michaela Nichols. Hello, Michaela. How are you?
Good.
You are the voice of the people at home. You are a non-lawyer. I am a lawyer. You ask the questions that people maybe are afraid to ask because I'm a lawyer. You know what I mean? They're like, well, he probably already knows that. I'm not saying you ask the dumb questions.
No, it was just really funny. Like, you do this, Michaela. You do that. You're not a lawyer.
I'm not instructing you.
No.
I'm just saying that's what you do.
That's my purpose here.
I'm not telling you what to do.
I don't know.
You what?
I will. I might just sit here and give you sass. I don't know.
We are here to answer your questions. 321-282-1055. If you want to talk to us, we can talk off the air, of course. A great program today. Here's what's coming up. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Number one, are we seeing foreclosures come back a little bit? What do you do if your house might be in foreclosure? You haven't been able to pay your mortgage. You do have some options. And number two, a very important topic, it's Alzheimer's and people who are now going through a tough time of their elderly life, and how do you protect them, especially as their kids, as their children. It's so hard to see your parents go through that, but there are things that you can do to make it easier. We're going to talk about that as well. Very important issue.
Sounds like
Are you ready to go?
I am.
Here's what we're going to do. A very, very short break. When we return, Behind the Law continues. You own a house, you need to have your windows and sliding glass doors checked right away. I'll tell you why. Joined by my good friend Dan Bringman, Renewal by Anderson. How do I know, Dan, when it's time to have my windows and sliding glass doors checked?
Well, it's a great question because it's not always obvious. One of the ways that sticks out immediately is that energy bill. We have to make, we've seen it go up all year long. Got a couple cool days now. A couple other ways are they're not functioning properly. You have some dust on the seals, and also just water infiltration, or maybe you heard a lot of rattling during some wind and so forth.
Absolutely. QR code is on the screen for you right now. What does it cost to have you and your design team come out and see what's going on with my windows?
Absolutely nothing but your time.
That's a beautiful thing, and they're going to come check it out, tell you exactly what you need or don't need sometimes. But a lot of people say, well, Dan, I'm worried about the economy. I don't want to write a big check right now. You've done amazing things to make this almost free sometimes when you compare it to your electric bill.
Absolutely, and it's a great thing to be concerned about, but we take the worry away. What we've done is we've extended our finance plans, and we call them our easy pay plans, and they go up to 144 months, and we go as low as 5.97. I mean, that's like really low. Most terms out there go as high as 12, 14%.
And if you think about what you're paying every month versus how you're going to save money on your electricity bill, this is almost free for you and a no-brainer. Dan, always good to see you, buddy. Do yourself a favor right now. Hit the QR code on the screen and call Renewal by Anderson today.
Have you been threatened by the IRS? You are not helpless. You have the power to fight wage garnishments and fight levies on your accounts. I'm Justin Clark. Call me now for a free consultation or visit youhavepower.com and take back control of your financial life.
Welcome back to the show. Alzheimer's is a very terrible disease, as we know, and you really have to prepare for this. So you have to prepare in case this happens to your parents or your loved ones. The best guy when it comes to preparing for elder parts of your life is attorney John Marshall. He joins me now. How do we say it properly? I was made fun of during the break. I didn't say Alzheimer's. I said Alzheimer's, I thought. How do you say it properly?
I'm going to go with Alzheimer's.
Yeah. Did I say Alzheimer's?
I'm not even going to try to say it because I will.
Okay, go ahead. You're up.
No.
Well,
Alzheimer's. Yeah, see, no.
Your firm is obviously a huge supporter of Alzheimer's awareness. We have a big event coming up in October as well, October 4th. Tell me about it.
So on October 4th, nationwide, they'll be having the Alzheimer's Walk. I'm actually part of the executive committee along with my wife for the Tri-County and Villages Walk. We're going to be having it at the Botanical Gardens in Leesburg this year. But the purpose of the event is to raise money and awareness for Alzheimer's research. Alzheimer's is, I think everybody kind of has heard of it, and they know that people have Alzheimer's suffer from memory loss and different things like that. There's actually, and it affects people very differently. Some people get it, they get diagnosed with it within a matter of 6 months. They have lost, a lot of their memories. Some people get diagnosed and it's years. And so a lot of the research now is trying to figure out how to slow it down and maybe one day reverse it. But as a lawyer that does guardianship law, does estate planning, a lot of what I do is geared around protecting people when they get a diagnosis like that. And we always think in terms of, death in estate planning. We also have to think about life as part of estate planning. There is a very high likelihood that you will suffer a period of, disability before you pass away. And during that time of disability, let's say it's Alzheimer's, who's going to make your financial decisions? Who's going to make your healthcare decisions? And do you want to pick them? Or do you want a judge that you don't know deciding which one of your family members or maybe non-family member is going to make those decisions for you? And so in my practice, we try to emphasize we need to talk about death, but we need to talk about life so that when things like Alzheimer's strike, we're not worried, we're ready to address it.
What does guardianship mean exactly?
Guardianship is literally the process of going into the court and asking the court to appoint a legal representative to make your decisions for you. Now, to combat that, in our practice, we use trusts and powers of attorney for purposes of deciding who's going to manage my finances. For healthcare decisions, we use a combination of documents, a HIPAA waiver that authorizes the release of medical information to the people that you pick, a designation of healthcare surrogate. A lot of people move to Florida and they have a medical power of attorney. In Florida, we use a designation of healthcare surrogate, but that document says if I cannot make my own healthcare decisions, here are the people who can, in my stead. And then a living will. These are documents that a lot of people think of, well, when I'm old. Well, actually, about 2.5 years ago, I was involved in a really bad car accident. Back to this day, I do not remember the accident. I just remember the OnStar system, some lady talking to me and saying, we've called the police. And so I had a really bad concussion. So for about a month and a half, my wife was actually the one making my medical decisions. In fact, she probably still should be.
She still does, John, though. You can't.
I'm not going to lie. She does.
Patty knows a lot.
She does. So, but, the thing of it is, I couldn't trust my memory in that time period to understand what the doctors were telling me or what I needed to do. So I relied on her. Yeah. And then as my concussion subsided, obviously those decisions come back to me. But God forbid one day I have Alzheimer's. I want to have somebody that I can rely on. But we want to name several backups because what happens is if we don't have those documents in place, then we are in a courtroom and we are now having family members competing with each other. Even if family is not, let's say everybody's in agreement. The only person who benefits in a guardianship,
lawyers,
the attorney, because it's very expensive. We've got to have 3 medical experts involved. We have to have, hearings and all these different things. So as an attorney, and our duty is to do what's in the best interest of our clients, not ourselves. When I'm talking to people, let's find the path of least resistance and put you in control of making those decisions.
Yeah.
Okay, John, I have a question. I know you kind of addressed it, but power of attorney, that's different from guardianship? Because I've heard power of attorney like left, right, and center, but guardianship is different.
Power of attorney is a document that says, I authorize somebody else to handle my finances. Now, in Florida, we do not allow what's called a springing power, meaning when I'm becoming incapacitated, then it's in effect. I have a power of attorney now. My wife is my agent under the power of attorney. Our financial advisors know, don't call John during the day. He is not going to talk to us. He's busy. They call Patty. She can sign my name. John Marshall by Patty Marshall as agent. I've authorized her to do that. What separates a power of attorney from a durable power of attorney is a durable power of attorney remains in effect if I become incapacitated. And oftentimes that is when we need it the most. So a regular power of attorney ends at incapacity. A durable power of attorney remains in effect. Now, it still ends at death, which is why we will oftentimes couple these type of things with a trust so that after death, now we can manage the distribution of assets. But even during life, a trustee can manage the assets in the trust, just like an agent under a power of attorney can manage assets that are in your individual name file your taxes, and do the different things financially that you just are not able to address at that moment.
Yeah, but you need to get out ahead of this, and I'll tell you why. Number one, Michaela makes my medical decisions as well. She says, you need to go to the dentist. You need to go to the doctor. That's how she makes my medical decisions.
Yes, because I'm trying to make sure you live a long and healthy life.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
But I have a QR code on the screen right now, so you can talk to John off of the air. Take out your phone, scan the QR code, and we'll send his information over to you right away, or your information to him. There's also a phone number on the screen. Call today. Now is the time to get out ahead of the situation, because John, when someone becomes incapacitated, because this is very easy stuff at the beginning. You sign a power of attorney, get these documents. When someone becomes incapacitated, they're incapacitated. They can't sign these things at that point.
Correct.
Right?
And it's amazing the number of people that will call our office and say, Mom has dementia. I need you to draft this so she can sign it. Now, I understand some people could be diagnosed with it, but they're still lucid. They're still able to do it. So we will talk. And there's actually a Supreme Court case in Florida that says, here's what you look at to determine whether or not somebody has what we call testamentary capacity. But when I'm meeting with someone and they don't know why they're there, what they're doing, they can't sign it.
Right.
Now we're in a guardianship. So you have to get out in front of it. And it's something as simple as talking to an attorney. Now, I will tell you, I have a number of people that I, will talk to, and they go, I have mom or dad's power of attorney. And it's a do-it-yourself form, something they downloaded online. Yeah. The problem with that is Florida has some very stringent power of attorney laws. In 2011, the entire power of attorney statute, the section, were scrapped and completely rewritten. And the purpose of that was to create extra protections, both for financial institutions, for agents, for the person giving it, what we call the principal, but to define things a little bit more clearly as to what powers exist. And people oftentimes just get these forms online and it's missing crucial details, or they're giving powers that maybe they shouldn't be giving. And those are things that we want to talk about, because we can broaden or more narrowly construe the power of attorney based upon the client's unique circumstances.
And also, that's mom or dad making their decision while they are still lucid. When you wait to have this fight till they're not lucid, I've seen it rip families apart. I've seen brothers and sisters have horrible fights and really hate each other because they're fighting over what to do.
Well, it's funny, I tell people I don't do family law, meaning I don't do divorces.
Right.
But I do family law every day. And that is when we are in a guardianship, when we're in probate, we have family either coming together and uniting, or we have family coming together and fighting. And my job in those situations is to represent my client's interests. And if my client is petitioning for guardianship, I'm going to represent their interest. The sad reality is, and I have a case now, and I honestly think everybody wants to do what's in their dad's best interest or husband's best interest. But all told, the family's probably spent around $30,000 in this case, and all because he did a power of attorney, it was improperly executed, and what he wanted to happen is not happening. And again, it was the focus on price versus quality, and what happened later. The price far out, exceeds what it would have done or cost up front if it had been done properly.
Unbelievable. Attorney John Marshall, great job as always, man. Thank you so much for coming in. Give this man a call. Now, this is important stuff for you, for your family, for your parents. And if you wait too long, sometimes it can be too late, or it can be super expensive to unwind the issues that we have. Here's what we'll do, a very quick break. When we return, I'm starting to see a few more foreclosures come. What do you do if you haven't paid your mortgage and you get that foreclosure notice, whether it's an HOA or your mortgage, as Behind the Law continues.
Justin here with the beautiful Michaela. How are you?
I'm good, how are you?
There's been a major shift happening in the air conditioning industry, and Old Ash, together with Duquesne, is leading the way.
Committed to the future, Old Ash introduces a new generation of systems that use R454B refrigerant, an innovative alternative that reduces global warming potential by 78% compared to the R410A.
This change is perfect opportunity for anyone looking to replace an old unit or install a new air conditioning system. Old Ash wants you to understand what these changes mean so you can make the best decisions for you, your home, and your family. With a simplified product lineup, compatibility with both R410A and R454B equipment, and available refrigerant detection system kits, the transition is smooth and efficient.
Old Ash technicians are fully trained and certified in these new procedures, ensuring a professional installation that meets the latest industry standards. And most importantly, you'll have peace of mind knowing that their team is with you every step of the way.
With Duquesne and Old Ash, every unit installed is a step towards cleaner air and a more sustainable future. Stay informed, stay cool. Trust Duquesne.
Give them a call today to learn more about these changes and how they could affect your AC unit, and let their trusted service providers guide you through it. Old Ash, educating ourselves to educate you.
Have you been threatened by the IRS? You are not helpless. You have the power to fight wage garnishments and fight levies on your accounts. I'm Justin Clark. Call me now for a free consultation or visit youhavepower.com and take back control of your financial life.
Welcome back to the show. It's late 2007, 2008, 9, 10, 11. There were so many foreclosures. It was out of control. I think my firm handled 20,000 foreclosure cases. It was a pretty wild time. Now, I don't think we're going back to those levels. I don't think this real estate market's going to collapse. I think it's softened a little bit, but I don't think there's any real estate collapse ahead whatsoever. But we have seen more people in foreclosures here recently. And I want to talk to you a little bit about what you do if you find yourself in foreclosure. Joined by my good friend, real estate broker Elisha Lopez is here. Hi, Elisha. How are you?
Good.
What have you been seeing lately? Down in the trenches, I mean, you do all sorts of real estate, of course. Are you seeing more people who are underwater now or no?
So I'm seeing more people that actually admit that they're underwater.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yes, because, that shock comes at first, like, oh, no, I can't pay my mortgage. And then most homeowners, they keep it to themselves because they're ashamed, the fear, like, what am I going to do? And they don't realize that there's great help out there.
Yeah, like 2008, 9, everybody was underwater, essentially, it felt like. And then over the last few years, absolutely no one has been underwater because the market skyrocketed. I don't know what percentage we're at right now, but you are seeing people who bought, like, in what year are now underwater?
I'd say late 2022, 2023, definitely.
Those people are underwater.
Maybe they could sell and clear their mortgage, but once closing costs, real estate commission, and everything else, now they're upside down.
Yeah. So one of the huge things we did back in the day, obviously, was a short sale. When you hear the term short sale, what does that mean?
I got a program for that. That's what I mean. So basically, the bank is going to take a short for less than what the homeowner actually owes for their mortgage. And it sounds like, oh, wow, that's awesome. And it actually is. A lot of times there's, all this different, like, stigmas and, it's going to hurt my credit, but it's actually way better than doing a foreclosure, and it clears your credit a lot faster so you can become a homeowner again down the road a lot quicker.
I totally agree. What kind of
many terms?
I know. Sorry to throw that.
No, it's okay. I'm like, oh, it's a short sale, but she answered it for me, so I'm back with it.
Yeah, but it's a bit of an oxymoron because it's not necessarily a short sale. It doesn't.
No, short's only the dollar amount. It has nothing to do with time.
What kind of time frame am I looking at it for a short sale? I know it varies, but what are you saying?
So it depends on who's handling the short sale. Way back in the day, I used to actually negotiate them myself, and I'd have like veins on the side of my head that never come out ever, except when I'm negotiating a short sale. And I was lucky enough to come across a company that mitigated them for me. So if you have a good company, then I'd say about 90 days. But if you're dealing with someone that doesn't have a clue of what they're doing, it's probably going to take forever.
A little honest talk for a second here. When the foreclosure crisis happened in 2008, the banks were inundated with these cases, whether it's short sale, loan modification, or whatever, and they were totally not prepared and totally really incompetent. So they were very hard to deal with. I think that the systems are a little bit better now, and I think whether it's a loan modification or a short sale, I do think it's a bit more streamlined at this point. But there are huge benefits, I think, to doing a short sale as opposed to just letting it go to foreclosure. Number one, that deficiency amount. Tell me about the deficiency.
So that's the difference between what you owe and what it's sold for in the short sale. So let's say, for example, you're upside down $100,000. That deficiency judgment is the $100,000. And sometimes they're not going to come after you for that, and they're not going to have a deficiency judgment. And it's like you just don't know until you try. It doesn't hurt the homeowner to actually try to do the short sale. And it actually benefits them because they litigation, the list pendants, now there's a litigation on the property, like all that gets paused. A lot of times, like when working with your law firm, you find other things in the paperwork that can help you out, and then some kind of a loop, not necessarily like a loophole, but it's something that they wouldn't have known unless they're working with experience. That then now all of a sudden they're, it's going to benefit them.
Exactly. I totally agree. So one of the first things I do when you call me and say I'm in foreclosure is I need to get an accurate value of your home. Okay. I don't trust Zillow or Realtor.com. It might be somewhat accurate, but not really. So I like to have Elisha do a real market analysis of your house so I can figure out what it's worth, because I need to know what it's worth. What can we sell it for? Because then we have to do some math together. It's okay, we owe this. We can sell it for that, take the real estate commissions and closing cost out, and maybe you can sell it naturally. Maybe you can sell it and make a couple of bucks, or maybe it is going to be a short sale, because that's what dictates how the next step that we're going to take. Because if you think about it, if you're going to do a short sale, some people like to drag that out a little bit because they're staying in their home for a while and figuring out what their next move is, and it can be somewhat of a benefit to make it last a while.
Oh, absolutely. Because when you're going through the stress of all of that, usually there's other life stresses going on, and it's nice to be able to like, okay, I can pause and actually like think on what like my next plan is or what I'm going to do, because it's very emotional. I mean, real estate in general is emotional because you're dealing with people either spending the most money of their lifetime, losing the most money. The banks are only interested really in the financial side of it. Realtors trying to pay their bills. So like all these emotions centered around their finances, it's a lot of stress.
Sure.
And being able to just like sit and like, okay, like I can breathe for a second and figure out what I'm going to do. That's really huge.
So let's say I'm a buyer out there looking to either invest or buy a house. How likely is it I can get a good deal if I'm buying a short sale or a bank-owned foreclosure?
Again, it's going to depend on who you choose to help you, like your real estate professional, because again, if you don't know as a realtor how to navigate through short sales and through foreclosures, you're doing a disservice to the buyer and even to a seller on a short sale. There's just so many like tiny little things, and I've probably done thousands of BPOs.
Yeah.
And like I used to have nightmares at one point of I can't do another because like 20 a day. It was
20 a day?
It was
What is a BPO, just so everyone at home knows?
So that's a broker price opinion.
Yeah.
And instead of a appraisal, when you're dealing in regular real estate where a licensed appraiser is handling that, they actually come to the real estate agent and have us do the broker price opinion. But it's the exact same concept. Yeah. But the cool part about that is because I did so many, like I just have that system in my head that I could see a property, pull the comps.
You know what's up.
Yeah, for 30 days.
Yeah, that's why she was having these.
Yeah, I know what it is.
What did they pay you for those back in the day? I forgot. Maybe this is
$50. But
some people, they were even paying like 20 or 25. They weren't paying a lot of money for them.
No, not at all. Yeah. But, back then when the market crashed and everything was stagnant, that put food on the table.
Exactly. It was that or work at Dillard's.
Yeah.
Anyway, great to see you, Elisha Lopez.
Thank you.
You're fantastic at this. Any sort of real estate needs, I would call her. That's what we do. We call Elisha to get her advice. We love it when she works with our buyers and our sellers because she's just a fantastic real estate broker at the end of the day. But if you do want to know what your house is worth, whether you're in foreclosure or not, look her up, all right? Call her. We love her.
She knows what's up.
She does. Here's what we're going to do, a very last quick break. When we return, we will go back through everything that we learned today, right?
We will.
Are you ready?
What did we learn?
Are you already thinking about what you learned? Or
yep,
wait
I already know.
A quick break. When we return, it's what did we learn?
It is never a bad time to prioritize your health, your well-being. That is why I come to Bellam Wellness. I'm joined by Dr. Zaidi. You are a primary care physician first and foremost, but you started Bellam Wellness. Tell me a little bit about why you started it.
Bellam actually has been my passion from quite some time. I wanted to do something a little bit more than the primary care, so we can take care of patients from inside out. We want them to feel better.
It means beautiful soul, right?
Beautiful soul, absolutely.
And I love that because not only do you offer some aesthetic services, but pain management, you really do it all. Tell me about some of the other services you offer here.
The main is, which I love the most, is my laser services.
I love it too. That's where I get my laser hair removal done.
So the most common, as you know, is our laser hair removal, but we do the fine lines, wrinkles, scars.
Spider veins.
Spider veins, absolutely. That's one of my favorite to perform, actually, because you can see the results instantaneously. And scars, as I mentioned, and brown spots, pigmented spots.
Because we all have something that we're a little insecure about because we always look in the mirror, but you really help people find the beauty within themselves and kind of fix those little imperfections along the way. Dr. Zadie, I trust you with all my aesthetic related services.
Thank you so much.
And your family is so inspirational. I love the husband, the kids, all of them. I really enjoy coming here.
Thank you so much. And we look forward to continue giving service to you and the whole of the Central Florida.
Yeah, do yourself a favor. If you want to check out this amazing list of services, look no further than Bellam Wellness.
Your debt does not have to control your life. You have the power to potentially lower or even eliminate your debt. I'm attorney Justin Clark. Call me now for a free consultation or visit youhavepower.com and take back control of your financial life.
Welcome back, and we wrap it up today, as always, with What Did We Learn? Michaela Nichols, what did you learn?
I learned a lot.
I learned that, and I'm very angry about this, because a lot of times you say, no, save it for the air. You had a wonderful question during the break that you didn't ask during the show.
Actually, when I hear conversations, thoughts do go through my head, and I form questions, but sometimes the conversation...
She has thoughts.
I have thoughts. But yeah.
I know, that's what I've learned today so far, is you need to, if you have a thought,
because our guests have so much amazing information that I don't want to steal their thunder with what does that mean? Or what is this? I can always ask him offline.
What is
on the deal? Number one, John knows so much about so many different things, but him and his wife, Patty, they're just really great people too with all they're doing for Alzheimer. I know I said it wrong, probably Alzheimer's awareness.
Alzheimer's.
Thank you. And the walk in October, it's things you don't think about. And my grandparents had dementia, and it's that stuff is so real and so scary. And you hate to see people be taken advantage of. So it's so important to get those documents.
And again, in advance. You don't want to wait till it's too late. You want to do it in advance. If not, it gets super expensive. I learned that. I don't think we're going to have a foreclosure crisis.
You should knock on wood. When you were saying that in my head, I was you should knock on some wood.
We're not going to have a foreclosure crisis. But Elisha has seen, I know that she's seen a few more people underwater, a few more short sales here recently. So I think we will see some short sales on some of these foreclosures. I learned that you did great, as always.
You did okay.
Thank you so much. Thanks to our guests and to our amazing team here. Most importantly, thank you. See you. Happy Memorial Day weekend. Happy long weekend. See you again next week for more Behind the Law.
Are you worried about your student loan payments? I don't blame you. The great news for you is now we have more options than ever. Go to our website, youhavepower.com, to find out what options may exist for you and your student loans.
The proceeding was a paid advertisement. The views expressed were the sole responsibility of the advertiser.